Giving all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahbashim Yahshabashim Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders and bishops of great mercy that told me this truth that rule well. Shalom to the elect scattered through the four corners of the earth. My name is Kodash Payah. And real quick, right? So, now with all this, with the Gary, Indiana, the blackout have been happening lately. It's been 2 weeks now. I went to Memphis, right? Now from Memphis, as you see here,
power and poles are down. Also, other spots in West Tennessee are experiencing the same thing. We haven't got a timeline from these other areas. MLGW.
now in LA, over there in California, right? In LA. Right, then it went from there to Salaki, so it went from Indiana, right, within the past, month, to Memphis, to California, down now to Georgia. Now Georgia's getting hit, and that's not a coincidence, you know what I mean, because these elites, they got a weapon they could use, because they blame it on, like, tornadoes or whatever, small scale, so-called natural disasters, but, they have weapon modification, right, to do that as far as war, to cause a collapse, if you will. But I want to bring this out, Lord willing, we get some precepts. I'm going to let this play, Lord willing, we get some precepts.
Energy prices have already increased, but they believe, and local communities are saying, expect blackouts. If I could, I'll give you an example. Homer City, Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, near where I went to college out there, University of Pittsburgh, and that whole area in western PA. This is a really interesting anecdote because Homer City, their energy prices have already increased, but they're building this. The data centers that have come in there have revitalized the old coal plants that are there, and were shut down in 2023. Now they're building this massive Homer City energy complex. On top of it, converting it to natural gas, but the people of Homer City don't get the benefit of it. They don't get any of that. It's going to go to the data center build out. I think the mayor, the other members of the local city council have already seen those prices go up and have said that we will expect blackouts. This is Pennsylvania. This isn't Texas, where you get incredible heat waves. You still get heat waves and things, but not like Texas or Arizona. So expect blackouts. Like over the next few years, our grid cannot handle this. And so the people of this area that live in the surrounding area can expect to see their homes affected by this and blackouts that will unfold in these neighborhoods. And that, again, that's Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania.
And what you think these data centers, what's the data you think is collecting, right? Because it's all becoming an entire web, like the grid, a web, right, with these towers and all that, AI, for ultimately a new digital currency, you see, so, because now it's even economic war,
Nowhere near, like,
up here, red is liberal, blue is conservative, it's opposite down there, just to explain to
it's become an economic war, right here, check this out.
Sanctions determinations issued today target 5 of Iran's most vital lifelines that it exploits in other countries: digital assets, technology, gold, aviation, and shipping. These measures broaden secondary sanctions risk for anyone foolish enough to continue conducting business with this regime and will accelerate the speed with which we pursue them. As I speak, Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control is also sanctioning over 60 entities, individuals, and vessels around the world that enable the Iranian regime to procure illicit nuclear and missile technology, conduct cyber operations, and generate oil revenue. This is a sustained campaign to collapse every last option for Iran. Let there be no ambiguity as to the position of the United States. And economic engagement of any kind with this murderous regime will expose those responsible.
Yeah, and they could use them, Iran, whatever, as any other country, as an excuse to basically have a great reset. Reset what? The economic, the whole Federal Reserve, and it's going to become something new. It's going to become digital. You know what I mean? And we're seeing it happening faster and faster and faster because scriptures tell you that, matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Revelation 12 and 12. Revelation 12 and 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he hath Salakia, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." So now NLT says, "Therefore rejoice ye, O Salakia. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens, rejoice, but terror will come on the earth and the sea, right? For the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time, and little time for what? The scripture said the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24. So there's a bound the Lord set up to where they cannot pass, as it tells you, I believe, in the book of Job 14. Right? To the limitations of, throughout generations of these Romans, the Greeks, these Edomites, Esau, the so-called Caucasian race, like all the bloodshed, rape, lies, murder, torture, like all of that is being brought to the forefront to the exposure, like I believe in Isaiah says what? It shall go down, this word of the Lord will go down to the gates of the nobles, meaning those, the presidents, the government, these elite, the feds, they know who the real is. They, listen, it goes deep, man. Right? All the way back to the bloodline, to, Jacob and Esau, when you read Genesis, the 25th chapter, right? Going down to the birthright, showing that those that are in Israel today, scriptures tell you, when we go back to our homeland, it's not going to be war no more. They're over there now, and there's war. Chaotic. Fucking conflict. Biggest gay parade. All that, man. Showing you that the scriptures is speaking to you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which are the biblical Israelites. You know what I mean? And it's coming down to the wire, because, everything revises on, right now, on electricity, the grid, refrigerator, everything, medicine. It's gonna affect, and this is the word for it, it's a military tactic, where they do things in multiple, like a black swan effect, I believe. I believe it's like a black swan effect. Correct me if I'm wrong, look it up. Matter of fact, let's both look it up. Alright? It says, right, a black swan event is an extremely rare, unpredictable occurrence that carries a massive, often catastrophic impact and is inappropriately rationalized in hindsight. So, unpredictability, severe impact, and hindsight bias. So after it happens, people create explanations that make the event look predictable or obvious in retrospect. So you have the unpredictability, like when the scriptures speak about sudden fear, sudden destruction, you know. It references that in different ways in many scriptures, but yeah, phrase comes to swan because no one had ever seen a swan. So no one ever seen a black swan. That's where the effect come from. The belief collapsed in 1697 when Dutch explorers discovered black swans in Australia. Alright, so, but that's where it came from. So, has Babylon the Great, which is referred to as the daughter of Babylon, virgin daughter. Virgin meaning because she never been touched. America, Babylon the Great has never been touched. And people never seen such of, you know, war that's coming that we warn about with World War III, you know, and even all the agendas, which is prophetic. They don't want to believe. That's why they're going to get caught up suddenly, like a thief in the night. You know? So you could read about it on and on. Look it up. Like, it ain't nothing. Come on. But anyway, they're attacking. You go to Dabu 7. There's an active threat. U.S. warned hackers are attacking vulnerable water systems. So it's going to be a constant roller coaster of events that's going to lead to towards these greater prophetic events, alright? So, hey, watch and pray, man. You know, I just wanted to bring these little headlines, little videos, clips, or whatever to you. You know, bring out 2-3 precepts. You know, be not ignorant, man. It is what it is. You know, we seen prophecies. With that, I'm going to say shalom.